The first thing people say about Gervonta "Tank" Davis is that he doesn't look like a monster. He doesn't loom over opponents. He doesn't carry the physical frame of a classic destroyer. He doesn't rush forward, throwing reckless punches. And yet, time after time, fighters step into the ring undefeated, confident, full of belief in their own durability and skill, only to leave shaken, stopped, or staring into space, wondering how something so compact, so patient, and so calm could end them so violently. Watching Gervonta Davis dismantle undefeated fighters isn't just about knockouts. It's about the slow realization that unfolds in real time, the moment when belief drains from an opponent's eyes and fear quietly takes its place. Davis arrived on the world stage already carrying an aura that felt different. A southpaw from Baltimore, molded by hard gyms and harder streets, he wasn't marketed as a flashy prodigy. He was introduced as a finisher, a fighter whose punches didn't just score points, but altered careers. By the time his name was spoken alongside championship belts, the numbers told a chilling story. 30 professional wins, 28 knockouts, championships in 3 weight divisions. Fighters who had stood across from him would later say the same thing in different words. His power felt unnatural. Middleweight power, they'd say, packed into a lightweight frame. But the numbers alone never fully explained what made Tank Davis so frightening. To understand that, you had to watch what happened when undefeated fighters met him for the first time. January 14, 2017, marked the first true turning point. Gervonta Davis was only 22 years old when he stepped into the ring to face Jose Pedraza, the reigning IBF super featherweight champion. Pedraza wasn't just another belt holder. He was a legitimate champion, a disciplined Puerto Rican technician who had never tasted defeat. 22 fights, 22 wins, victories over respected names. He wasn't supposed to be intimidated, and early on, he wasn't. Pedraza fought with urgency, movement, and confidence, pushing Davis into uncomfortable moments. For the first time at this level, Tank wasn't simply walking through someone. But then, something shifted. Davis didn't panic. He didn't rush. He absorbed information, round by round, letting Pedraza work, letting him believe the fight was competitive. From the second half onward, the difference in power and precision began to tell. Every clean shot from Davis carried a weight Pedraza hadn't felt before. His guard tightened, his feet slowed, and by the 7th round, the illusion collapsed. A knockdown followed, the referee stepping in to end it. An undefeated champion was no longer undefeated, and a new force had announced himself to the world. That night wasn't just about winning a title. It was about proving that even the most disciplined, unbeaten champions could be broken under the right pressure. What followed was no celebration tour. Davis didn't retreat to soft defenses or carefully managed opponents. Just 4 months later, he traveled to London to defend his title against Liam Walsh, another undefeated fighter, another man fighting on home soil, backed by a crowd ready to will him to victory. Walsh entered the ring with 21 wins and 0 losses, confident that he could outbox or outmaneuver the American champion. For 2 rounds, it looked like a chess match. Tactical exchanges, measured distance, a sense that the fight might stretch into deep waters. Then Davis decided it was time. In the 3rd round, he raised the tempo just enough to expose the gap. One knockdown followed another. Walsh tried to clinch, tried to smother the power, but there was nowhere to hide. The referee waved it off, and the arena fell silent. It was a brutal reminder that with Davis, the fight could end the moment he chose. Undefeated records didn't impress him. Home crowds didn't intimidate him. Once he found the opening, it was over. By August of that same year, the pattern had become unmistakable. Francisco Fonseca, another unbeaten fighter, stepped up with confidence, built on 19 wins and a draw. On paper, it looked competitive. In reality, it was a showcase of levels. Davis dominated with a strange blend of casualness and cruelty, clowning at times, fighting with his hands low, inviting exchanges. It was almost playful, as if he knew the outcome long before the final bell. The fight ended controversially after a knockdown from a blow ruled to the back of the head. But even without a picture-perfect knockout, the message was clear. The undefeated aura Fonseca carried into the ring meant nothing once the bell rang. Years later, when Davis moved up to challenge Mario Barrios in June of 2021, the questions returned, louder than ever. This time, the undefeated opponent wasn't just unbeaten. He was bigger, stronger, a full-fledged champion at 140 pounds. Barrios stood nearly 5 inches taller, a physical presence that dwarfed Davis in the ring. 26 fights, 26 wins, not a single loss. For critics, this was the moment they believed Tank would finally meet someone too large, too strong, too resilient. The first half of the fight seemed to support that theory. Davis moved deliberately, almost lazily, allowing Barrios to establish himself. Jabs landed, combinations scored. The size difference was obvious. But once again, the calm was deceptive. Davis wasn't losing control. He was collecting data. And when he decided to accelerate, the fight transformed. In the 8th round, Barrios hit the canvas twice, each knockdown more telling than the last. The bigger man suddenly looked fragile. By the 11th round, another knockdown forced the referee's intervention. Gervonta Davis had just claimed a world title in a third weight division, dismantling yet another undefeated champion who believed size would save him. Returning to lightweight, Davis found himself across from Rolando Romero, a brash, loud challenger who talked as aggressively as he fought. Romero wasn't as accomplished as some of Davis's previous opponents, but his power was real, and his confidence was unshakable. 14 wins, 12 knockouts, 0 losses. He entered the ring, believing his strength could change the narrative. For several rounds, the fight was tense. Romero landed heavy shots, Davis felt them. The exchanges were real, the danger undeniable. Then came the moment Romero would replay in his mind forever. In the 6th round, Davis stepped in and unleashed a left hook that seemed to arrive from nowhere. Romero collapsed, his legs betraying him before he even hit the canvas. The referee didn't hesitate. It was over. Judges' scorecards showed a competitive fight up to that point, but none of that mattered. One mistake, one opening, one punch, and the undefeated record was gone. January 7, 2023, brought another test in Hector Garcia, a Dominican southpaw with a strong resume and a fearless approach. Garcia wasn't just undefeated, he had beaten respected names and entered the fight believing he belonged at the elite level. For much of the early rounds, he proved it. He countered effectively. He absorbed Davis's power better than most. The fight felt competitive, uncomfortable even. For Tank, but pressure has a way of revealing truth. In the 8th round, Davis increased the pace. The punches landed cleaner. The damage accumulated. Garcia began to struggle, his vision blurring under the sustained assault. When the round ended, he made a decision that spoke volumes about Davis's power. He refused to continue, citing vision problems. It wasn't a knockout, but it was a surrender born of damage. Another undefeated fighter had reached his limit. Then came the fight everyone talked about, the one that felt inevitable and historic. April 22, 2023, Gervonta Davis vs. Ryan Garcia. Two undefeated stars, two massive fan bases, explosive punching power on both sides. The buildup was electric, fueled by hype, social media bravado, and genuine curiosity. Could Ryan Garcia's speed and power finally trouble Tank? Or would this be another chapter in the same story? From the opening bell, caution ruled. Both men respected what the other carried in his fists. But even in that measured pace, Davis's superiority was evident. His timing was sharper, his accuracy cleaner. In the 2nd round, he dropped Garcia with a perfectly placed left hand, a moment that sent shockwaves through the arena. Garcia rose, but something had changed. The belief wavered. The end came in the 7th round, not with a wild exchange, but with surgical precision. A left hook to the liver, a delayed reaction. Garcia crumpled, unable to rise. It was a devastating finish, echoing through boxing history as one of the cleanest body shot knockouts in recent memory. Another undefeated fighter, another dream ended by Davis's left hand. By June 15, 2024. Frank Martin was the latest man to accept the challenge. 18 fights, 18 wins, no losses. A disciplined southpaw with momentum and confidence. Martin had earned his shot the hard way. Early on, he fought smart, varied, and composed. After half the fight, he was even ahead on the cards. For a moment, it felt like this could be different. Then Davis applied pressure, not recklessly, methodically. The body shots piled up. The openings widened. In the 8th round, it happened fast and violently. A left uppercut, followed by a crushing left cross, sent Martin crashing to the canvas. Motionless, the knockout was terrifying. A stark reminder that even when you do everything right, even when you lead on the cards, one lapse against Gervonta Davis can end everything. This is what makes watching Davis against undefeated fighters so unsettling. It's not just the knockouts.